This semester, I was at Otsego Elementary in a first grade classroom for field placement. I was really excited to be in a first grade classroom again because last semester I was in a first grade classroom at Birmingham Elementary. So I kind of got to see a little taste of what urban teachers are struggling with in first grade and the students are struggling with compared to rural students. I never expected to have such a warm welcoming from the students and the staff members. Everyone was so friendly and really nice just to get in the classroom and see a classroom that may not have been perfect. The teacher that I had constantly told me this is her worst class she's had in 25 years and she's really struggling. So it was kind of nice to see the opposite side because we were talking about like the ideal classroom, and it's nice to see one that's maybe not as ideal. Today's Valentine's Day, and it was so cute to see all of my little first graders at their party and how excited they were. But it was even cuter that they made me this card. It's so cute. And they actually all signed it. But it was just so sweet to see how proud they were of this card and how even something so little can not only touch them and make an impact on them, but also me, because it was just so sweet that they did that for me. And it was nice to see that they can pay attention and then they notice things. It's like, that's supposed to be me on the front of the cover. But I always wear this purplish blue jacket, and they noticed. They're like, oh, see, that's your purple jacket. I knew you were going to wear it today. I knew you were going to wear it today. And it's just so cute to see that they actually can pick up and that they're actually, even though it's something small, but if they can pick up on my jacket, then they can pick up on what they're learning. And maybe it's visual things. Maybe we need to start adding visual things into our learning more and not just all textbooks and hands-on experiences. And it was cute just to see how little things can make their day, and how if maybe I add a little bit something in my lessons or throughout the day, just something little, that they're going to remember it and that it's going to be something exciting for them, because something little like a handmade card isn't that extravagant, but it still makes a big deal, and that was really sweet of it. Throughout field placement this semester so far, I've really gotten to work one-on-one with the students, which is really nice because not only do I get a sense of where they are at academically, but I get to also make connections with them. But there's this one little boy in our class, we'll call him Student D, and he's struggling a lot. He cannot read at all. He doesn't even know what the word is, and it's March. And it's just really sad because by third grade they have to be fluent in reading, and he can't read a simple word that kindergartners are supposed to know at this point. And it hurts me because I see that, like, I'm trying. There's a lady that comes in the mornings and she's trying to, but it's not getting better. And today he was totally embarrassed in the classroom. He was called on to read, and it was an interesting experience for me because I felt the embarrassment of him. I could tell that he didn't want to read, and the teacher knows he can't read. And I just don't understand why she would even call on him to read a whole 2 sentences when she knows he can't do it. And it was a common theme for the day, actually. There's another little girl who forgot her glasses. We'll call her Student L. And she's supposed to go to the smart board, and she needed to rewrite this math problem, and it was a math word problem. And she couldn't do it because she didn't have her glasses. She couldn't read it. And I don't understand what the point is. I mean, yeah, she was not paying attention. She was goofing off. And I understand that a lot of teachers do that to get their attention. Like, okay, well, since you're not paying attention, go do this. But once again, there's 2 examples of students who can't even do the task. And if I know that they can't do the task, she definitely knows she can't do the task. And I don't understand why embarrassment needs to be used. And it's happened many weeks, but today it really shocked me that, I mean, yes, they need to pay attention, and yes, they do not understand, but embarrassing them is not going to get them to learn. If anything, it's going to shy them away from it. And I don't know, today was just interesting. I don't really know how I feel about all of this. I wish that it would not have been done. During recess, one of Tamara's students actually put us in a hula hoop, me, Tamara, and Nicole. And she's like, shh, you're all horsies. And we're like, what? She goes, yeah, horsies can't talk. And so she put like a hula hoop around us, and she like started dragging us, and we're like, okay. And then we're like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And she was so cute. She's like, shh, horses can't talk. Giddy up, giddy up. And we just started dying. I was like, this is why I'm an early childhood teacher, because they're so funny. Like, who else can say they were a horse during field placement? Me, Tamara, Nicole, Ken. Today in field placement, I got to see exactly how stressed my teacher is. It was very chaotic, to say the least, in the classroom today. There's probably a full moon or something tonight. But it was interesting to see how she handled the chaos and all the stress of the day. And honestly, I do not know if I agree with how she handled it. It was not maybe the best way to handle it. I understand stress, you just kind of react. But I felt sorry for the students because her stress was not only affecting her, but I could feel it. It was affecting me and my mood, and it was definitely affecting the students. And the classroom environment can totally change. Like the atmosphere, you could feel the tension, and it was not a very conducive place for learning. And I understand it's a stressful environment, but to me, it's just very sad to see that the students are not getting maybe everything that they should because of the stress of the room. Today was another stressful day in the classroom. Not much got accomplished because of the stress, and it was really quite sad because even the students were getting frustrated this time. And it really makes me wonder that why the stress isn't going down, and maybe if she tried something new it would, but it's really sad to see that nothing's happening, nothing's changing, and I feel sorry for the kids because once again it was just such a stressful day, and I really wish that something would change either with the kids or with how it's being handled so that it is a better classroom environment, because nothing got accomplished today, and it was kind of a sad. Today was Groundhog Day, and it was so much fun. We got to do so many different projects, and who would have known so much to do with Groundhog's Day, but with first graders there's a lot. It was so much fun just to see their excitement and to actually see how much songs really relate to them. We talked about it in my Foundations Early Childhood class a lot, about how songs really like lighten the mood, and you also can be educational and learn something from them, and it was so evident today. We sang 8 songs about a groundhog, and the kids were so excited and they loved it, and they kept asking us to do more and more and more. We even added movements to one of them. It was so much fun, and it just shows me how much music actually does play a role in little kids' lives, and how I can incorporate that in my own classroom, because obviously they were learning something from it. They were singing them at recess and all day long, and it was such a fun day, even though it was just Groundhog's Day. Field placement this semester was amazing. Even though it wasn't perfect and it definitely had its ups and downs, I still feel like I learned so much. I definitely, first of all, know how I would react in a situation when it's a stressful environment and when it's chaotic and you just don't seem to have control of the classroom. I've learned the proper ways to handle it, and maybe I've seen a way that I don't like, and I've been able to reflect on that already and learn, like, okay, maybe if I did this way, maybe they'd react. Maybe if I tried something new and not keep doing things the same way over and over again, because obviously that's not working. I've learned that kids love to learn differently, and they don't just want to do the same thing over and over again. While routine is important, it's also good to see that there is new ways to do things, and the songs that the kids love, and just little things that you can add in your day that they may not be extravagant, but they still love them, and it still brightens their day, and they're so proud of those little things. Maybe add visuals and hands-on experiences, and not just reading from a textbook or watching videos, actually getting out into the real world and experiencing these things. I know that I've learned so much about myself and what I believe in, and that I don't like classrooms that are chaotic and hectic, and raising the voices and the punishment and the embarrassment is not something that I want to see in myself. I want to have an open classroom, a calm classroom where it's inviting and a conducive place to learning. I don't want a place where kids don't want to come back. I want a place where kids want to be there, even if learning is not their number one priority in their life, which is not always the case for all the first graders. I want a place where students can actually learn. I know through this experience that I definitely want to be an early childhood major. It's something that I've wanted to be for a long time, but it just keeps being reaffirmed and reaffirmed. This is the right path for me. I love the first graders. They're so funny. And maybe next semester when I go to a different age level, I'll love them as much as I do my first graders. I've learned through this that the ups and downs make you the teacher you are. You're not going to have a perfect ride. No one is. There's no such thing as perfect. But if I can do my best to learn now how I can maybe fix that so I can be as perfect as I can, and I can make a place where it's inviting and it's a good place to come, and that's what I want to do. I just have learned so much through this experience, and I'm kind of glad I wasn't in a perfect classroom. I'm kind of glad I got to see her struggles, the kids' struggles, and how I would handle the situation. And some things I don't know how to handle, and I may never know how to handle, but at least I can start thinking of it now and think about how I would handle things differently, and I can use it in my future and not just be like, oh, well, I didn't like that. I want to learn. I want to see how I could do differently and different ways that are out there to handle situations differently to become the best that I can. This field placement was amazing, and I'm definitely going to miss my first graders at Otsego. So today at lunch, I definitely had to break up a fight between two little girls, first graders, I might add, because they were fighting over one of the students in my class because they both wanted to be his boyfriend. And they're like, yeah, he's my boyfriend. No, he's my boyfriend. And then they stood up from their chairs and they started pushing each other. And I was like, whoa, we're not going to fight over. And this is getting way out of hand. But it was just so comical. That's why I love first grade, because they make my day, even though they don't know it. I mean, how many people can honestly say they had to break up a fight in first grade about a boy? Yes, dating problems. First grade. Real life problems, I know.